In 1907, a street lighting committee was established to bring electricity to the town of Shrewsbury.
On Sunday, September 20th, 1908, Shrewsbury Electric turned on the first street lights in town. The September 21st, 1908 edition of the Worcester Telegram reported the event. 1 month later, on Tuesday, October 20th, 1908, the first house in town received power. The very first house wired and active was the Mitchell House at 118 Spring Street. By the end of February 1909, Shrewsbury Electric was supplying power to 178 street lamps and 40 individual households within the town of Shrewsbury.
In 1910, Mr. Edward A. Logan was hired as the electric company's first general manager.
The practice of returning money to the town to help lower the property tax rate began in 1912, when Shrewsbury Electric returned $1,048 to the town.
In 1922, a major ice storm practically leveled Shrewsbury's electric facilities and lines. It took several weeks of around-the-clock work to restore temporary service and another couple of years before the electric company returned to full operating capacity.
In 1926, the town contemplated selling the municipally owned electric utility to help subsidize the building of a new fire headquarters located on Church Road. The sale of the electric company was defeated in a special town meeting on Saturday, October 3, 1926, when the two-thirds majority vote required to sell the electric company failed to be reached.
In 1938, a Category 5 hurricane devastated the Atlantic coast and caused severe damage to Shrewsbury's facilities and lines. It took Shrewsbury Electric almost 2 years to fully recover from the Great New England Hurricane of '38. In 1941, the service area located on Municipal Drive was built along with the adjacent Hilltop Substation, now known as the Johnson Substation.
In October 1948, after 39 years of service, Edward Logan retired as the general manager. Mr. Logan, Shrewsbury Electric's first general manager, was replaced by Mr. Philip H. Holbrook in October 1948.
In 1953, Shrewsbury Electric faced one of its most devastating natural disasters of its existence. On June 9th of that year, a vicious tornado ripped through Worcester County, causing devastation in Shrewsbury and damaging Shrewsbury Electric's facilities and lines. It took Shrewsbury Electric crews several months to repair the damage caused by the infamous tornado.
Mr. Holbrook's tenure as general manager, which came to an end in 1954, proved to be a rocky one. Mr. Holbrook resigned from his post in protest when the Light Commission was disbanded by Shrewsbury's first town manager, Allen L. Wilcox. The department was temporarily run by the town manager's office until a new general manager, Mr. Robert E. Bacon, was hired in 1955. The Light Commission was reinstated later that same year with 3 new members.
Bucket trucks were a new invention in the late 1950s. Prior to that, ladders, ladder trucks, and pole climbing gear were standard industry equipment. In 1958, Shrewsbury Electric purchased its first bucket truck. Equipped with pneumatic tools and a compressor, it was used for both tree trimming and regular line work.
Mr. Bacon served as general manager for just 3 short years until April 1958, when he was replaced by Mr. James E. Baker. Under Mr. Baker, Shrewsbury Electric would grow exponentially, largely taking the shape of the company as it exists today.
In 1962, Shrewsbury Electric, under the guidance of General Manager James E. Baker, filed a landmark lawsuit against the New England Power Company, demanding that Shrewsbury Electric be allowed to purchase electricity directly from power generation companies. The lawsuit would become known as the Shrewsbury case. Although Shrewsbury Electric was able to purchase power at the same commercial rate being offered to customers of Mass Electric, the lawsuit argued that because Shrewsbury Electric was operating as a utility and reselling power to end users, it should be allowed to purchase power at cheaper wholesale rates directly from electric generation companies, rather than having to purchase power through Mass Electric or other utilities at higher rates. In 1963, the Federal Power Commission held a hearing regarding the complaint filed by Shrewsbury Electric more than a year before. It took several years for the case to wind its way through the courts, but when all was said and done, the federal government found in favor of Shrewsbury Electric, paving the way for public power companies throughout the United States to purchase electricity at wholesale rates and to enter into direct contracts with generators. This made the economics of running a community-owned utility much more favorable. The decision in the Shrewsbury case has been the major reason why customers of Shrewsbury Electric and other municipally owned utilities have enjoyed rates far lower than those of investor-owned utilities for the past 4 decades. By 1965, the rising number of town and electric department employees working from the town hall building located in the center of town began to exceed the space available in the existing building. Because Shrewsbury Electric was already planning to move its offices to a new building due to the cramped quarters, the electric department offered the town the opportunity to replace the old town hall with a brand new facility located on a much larger lot off Maple Ave. Construction was to be financed by Shrewsbury Electric funds given annually to the town in lieu of taxes. The town hall was built in 1966, and despite concerns, electric rates were not increased to cover the construction costs.
At a special town meeting on March 17, 1969, town meeting members approved a $450,000 bond for 2 diesel generators that would make up the Shrewsbury Electric peaking plant. The 2 peaking plant generators went into operation in early November 1969, just in time for the maximum load period. During the first 2 months of operation, the peaking plant generated 275,000 kilowatts of electricity. This marked the first time in Shrewsbury Electric's history that power was generated locally within the town of Shrewsbury.
The decision to pursue a cable TV franchise occurred in 1970 after the completion of a feasibility study. However, due to the confusion and disarray of the cable industry at the time, the franchise proposal was dropped until 1982. Finally, on March 28, 1983, Shrewsbury Electric was granted a cable TV license, and construction for the new Shrewsbury Community Cablevision system began. Shrewsbury was the first town in the Northeast to own and operate a state-of-the-art telecommunications system. On September 9, 1983, the first cable customer was activated, and by year-end, approximately 1,000 subscribers were up and running. By the end of 1984, the number of cable subscribers had surged to an astounding 5,600 households.
On September 27, 1985, Hurricane Gloria swept through New England, resulting in 8 fatalities and causing over $900 million in damages to the region. Hurricane Gloria caused significant damage to Shrewsbury's power facilities, leaving 7,000 Shrewsbury customers without electricity. Despite taking a direct hit, Shrewsbury Electric had all major circuits back in working order by 11 p.m. the day of the storm. By 2 p.m. Sunday, September 29th, electric service had been restored to all residents within the town.
In 1986, longtime general manager James E. Baker retired, and Thomas R. Josie was hired to fill his shoes. Under Mr. Josie's guidance, and because of his foresight and vision, Shrewsbury's municipal utility has provided fair prices and excellent service, in addition to being at the forefront of the telecommunications industry for much of his tenure.
In the mid-1980s, Shrewsbury Electric began experiencing high electric loads during days when temperatures reached extremes. These peak loads were negatively impacting both electric reliability and power costs within the town of Shrewsbury. To combat the sharp peaks, Shrewsbury Electric instituted a Beat the Peak program in 1987. Beat the Peak utilized the cable television emergency broadcast system to notify customers of peak load periods and request that non-essential use of electricity be curtailed until the peak had passed. During its first year in use, the Beat the Peak alert was activated 3 times and saved Shrewsbury Electric approximately $96,000 in energy costs.
Although the creation of SPAC got off to a rocky start, an organizational change made in 1986 finally got the project moving forward. Within months, SPAC took up residence in the North Shore Auditorium on Parker Road, which was renovated to provide studio space for the fledgling organization. The very first SPAC telecast to air was Shrewsbury's 1987 annual town meeting, which took place on February 19, 1987.
Annually since its inception in the early 1990s, SELCO's Share the Warmth program asks the community to assist needy Shrewsbury residents through donations that will help to maintain electric service for heat, light, and hot water throughout the cold winter months. Each year, the community responds with generosity. Every year since 1992, SELCO has invited all fourth grade students in the town of Shrewsbury to its annual fourth grade open house. Each elementary school fourth grade class experiences a field trip tour of SELCO's service area, electric and cable trucks, and Johnson substation. The students learn where the electricity comes from, about electric safety, and how to conserve electricity at home and at school.
In 1997, the town hall was again reaching capacity, and SELCO offered to finance construction of an addition to the rear of the existing 1966 building. By moving SELCO's offices to the new wing, space was freed up in the existing portion of the town hall to house the growing school department. The new addition also provided space for a new selectmen's meeting room, a computer room, a mail and equipment room, a small conference room, restrooms, and additional space for the treasurer's and assessor's office.
With the increasing popularity of the World Wide Web, SCC saw an opportunity to expand its telecommunications services by offering broadband internet service. SCC launched Town ISP high-speed internet on August 21, 1999. As part of the system upgrade necessary to launch Town ISP internet service, SCC also made significant upgrades to its cable plant, increasing channel capacity and launching digital cable service. Through the addition of digital cable, the number of available channels increased from 80 channels to over 180 channels. This added capacity paved the way for SELCO to become the very first cable provider in Massachusetts to offer high-definition television service.
In 2003, a decision was made to combine Shrewsbury Electric Light Plant and Shrewsbury Community Cablevision to form Shrewsbury Electric and Cable Operations. SELCO, the name by which Shrewsbury's municipal utility, established in 1908, is known today.
In December of 2006, SELCO Telephone was made available to Shrewsbury residents. Within the first month of service, SELCO Telephone had 158 customers. By August of 2008, that number had grown to more than 2,200 customers.
In 2008, SELCO banded together with 14 other municipally owned electric utilities in Massachusetts to form the Berkshire Wind Power Cooperative. In mid-2008, the Berkshire Wind Power Cooperative purchased the assets of a proposed wind power project to be built in Hancock and Lanesboro, Mass. The wind project, consisting of 10 1.5 megawatt turbines, is expected to begin producing power in 2010. Pursuit of the project is consistent with SELCO's ongoing efforts to explore and develop alternatives to fossil fuels for power generation. By investing in alternative energy solutions, SELCO is working to diversify the municipal power supply and bring greater stability to power prices. When the wind farm becomes operational, SELCO will receive about 5 million kilowatt hours per year from the project, which is approximately 1.6% of the town's total energy usage, or enough to power about 600 Shrewsbury homes.
Over the last 100 years, SELCO has proven itself to be a constant and reliable provider of electric service, with an outlook on the environment, an innovator in the forefront of the telecommunications industry, and a proud supporter of the Shrewsbury community. And we believe this legacy will continue for the next 100 years and beyond.